welcome. Let's try to solve another Leetcode problem. 1247, minimum swaps to make string equal. So we are giving two strings S1 and S2 of equal length. So this is very important. Otherwise, if the string is not equal, definitely it is not possible. Now, since the strings are equal, but they are also only consisting of x and y, and this also makes the problem really easy to do. And our task is to make two strings equal to each other, so we can swap any two characters that belong to different strings, which means swap, so for example, S1I and S2J. Yeah, let's just use the first example to understand it. So this is x and y, so definitely we're gonna make a swap. S10, it means this one. So we're gonna swap with S21, it's gonna be swap with this y. So after swapping, so here gonna be yx, and this one gonna be yx. So there's gonna be only one swap. And for the second example, according to the example, it's gonna have two swaps. Yeah, because definitely one swap is not possible. No matter how we gonna change it, there's gonna be two swaps. And for the third example, because this is only x and x, and this is x and y, it means it is not possible. Yeah, so we're gonna return a -1. And the length of the string is gonna be 1000 maximum. So this means for such kind of problem, definitely we're gonna use a simulation, or we're gonna just use the mathematical idea to solve the problem, and the time complexity gonna be O(n). And let's just use some examples to understand the problem. So let me just prepare an example. Maybe I'm gonna prepare such as, for example, this is x and x. I have 4x. And another string, I'm gonna have xx and y and y. Yeah. So we just need to check if this is impossible to swap. After swap, this is string S1 and gonna equal to a string S2. Yeah. So the idea is that this is all the elements we have inside S1 and inside S2. So we're gonna put all the elements inside a set. So basically, we're gonna put all the elements, but it is actually not like a set. But we can use the set idea to explain it. But actually, it's gonna be a dictionary. We just need to count how many x we're gonna have. So for example, we have 6x. Yeah. So how many x we're gonna have 6x. Yeah. And how many y do we have? We have 2y. Yeah. So this is the idea of replacement. And also we're gonna call it replacement theory. So the replacement theory is all the elements are gonna be inside a whole set. No matter how we replace with each other, so the total element inside the set would never change. So this means we have 6x and 2y. So this means we can separate it into two parts. So one part we have 3x and 1y, and in another part we also have 3x and 1y. So this means it's going to be equal. Yeah, so this is the global idea of how to solve the problem. So the idea is that we need to check the number of x and the number of y. If there are even numbers, so first of all, we're going to combine them together and put them inside a dictionary, and we're going to count it. So we're going to have like how many numbers of x and how many numbers of y. So if there are even numbers of x and even numbers of y, definitely we can split it. It means we can do the splitting. So this is the first step. If there are odd numbers of x, for example, there are only 5x, maybe there are 3y. Yeah. So is this possible? So if there are 5x and 3y, definitely it is not possible because there are only 5x. How can we split 2.5x? That is not possible, right? Yeah. So the idea is that the first step we're going to check if there's a possible to split it. So if there are even numbers of x and even numbers of y after we combine the S1 and S2 together, so it is a possible of splitting. Otherwise, it is not possible, so we're going to directly return a -1. So if it is possible to split, the next step is that we're going to find some patterns of how to split it. So the pattern is that we're going to count how many x, y. So we're going to call this one. From S1, the first character is x. From S2, the first character is y. So for this one, we're going to call it xy, and we're going to call how many numbers of xy. So if there are even numbers of xy, so the number of swap are going to be this number divided by 2. Yeah. So as we can say, how many xy for S1 and S2? There are 2 xy. So it means that there's going to be only one swap. So the swap idea is just from here. So another case is, what about if we have all the numbers of xy, and yeah. So for example, we have all numbers of xy, and we have all the numbers of yx. So how many swaps? So this is going to be the second example. So actually it's going to be 2 swaps, and the swap idea is just coming from here. So because like this way, definitely one swap is not enough. We have to do the first swap with S1 0, S2 0, and we're going to make it like the y, and x, and this one becomes the first pattern. When it becomes the first pattern, there's going to be another swap. So in total, it's going to be 2 swaps. So this is the idea. Yeah. So according to this kind of idea, definitely we can solve the problem. We just need to count how many x. When we combine S1 and S2 together, and we're going to zip them together, we just need to count how many xy and how many yx. So if there are even numbers of xy, it's going to be divided by 2. Or if there are even numbers of yx, it's going to be divided by 2. If there are odd numbers of xy, it's going to be divided by 2 plus 1. And similarly for y and x. So this is just the idea of how to solve the problem. Yeah. Now let's just use this kind of idea to solve the problem. So first of all, we're going to prepare a counter. So this counter is going to be S1 plus S2. So we just need to check how many x and how many y. So if with this counter, say x modulo 2 equal to 1, or say y modulo 2 equal to 1. So this means if there are all numbers of x and all numbers of y in total inside the whole set of x, S1 plus S2, definitely it is not possible. So this means we're going to return -1. Now it's going to be possible. So if it is possible, so we're going to prepare a dictionary. It's going to be a default dict, and I'm going to prepare an integer. Or you can also prepare another counter, maybe say 2. But here I prefer to use another dictionary to solve it. Now I'm going to zip it. So for maybe I'm going to use x and y. So for xy in zip of S1 and S2. So I want to put them together. So this means I want to put like dx plus y gonna plus equal to 1. Yeah, so this means, for example, this is x and this is y. So inside the dictionary, I'm gonna have a k. So this k gonna be x and y. So if it is yx, so I'm gonna have a yx. So let me just print out what is this dictionary inside, and let me just return a random value to understand what is the meaning of this one. Yeah. So this is going to be the dictionary xy. I have 2 numbers of xy, and let me just continue the next. I have 1 number of xy and I have 1 number of yx. So according to this idea, I can directly solve the problem. Yeah. So I'm going to prepare a result going to be equal to 0. So the next step, I just need to check the values. So for v in d dot values, because whether it is xy and it is yx, it doesn't matter. I only need to check if this one, the value is an even number or it is an odd number. Yeah. So I can directly use the formula to get the final result. So the result going to plus equal to v divided by 2 plus 1. So if v modulo 2, otherwise it's going to be v divided by 2. Yeah, so this is going to be the solution. I just need to check v is an even number or odd number. So if it is odd number, I'm going to plus 1. If it is even number, it's going to be divided by 2 directly. Now let me just run it. I cannot pass. Yeah, let me check. Yeah, because before I didn't use this way to solve the problem. Actually, I write a lot of code too. But here I prefer to use this way. Let me just print out d.values to check why it didn't work for this testing case. So this is going to be d.values. Yeah, I think I forgot to check other special cases, because this dx plus y plus 1 I have to check, because if this x equal to y, definitely I don't want to put it inside. So for example, I have x, this is my string s1, and I have string s2, it is also x. If they are equal, I don't need to put it inside, definitely. I only check if it is xy or if it is yx. Yeah. So from here, I need to have a check if x not equal to y. So basically, I can put it inside the dictionary directly, and I can get the final result. Yeah. Now let me just run it. As you can see, it works. Now let me just submit it to check if it can pass. Yeah, as you can see, it passed for all testing cases, and it's pretty fast. I think this kind of idea is really good. I mean, the mathematical replacement idea is really good to solve such kind of problem. Thank you for watching. See you next time.